In today's video, I'm going to talk about the exact strategy that I use every single day that got me six-figure funded and profitable. I'm also jump on a chart and I'll show you an exact trade that I just took last week. What's going on, everyone? Coming to you from the beautiful Mekong Delta region of Vietnam, where we are celebrating Lunar New Year. This place, in my opinion, is really one of the coolest parts of Vietnam. Also guys, stick with me to the end of the video because at the end, I'm going to talk about 3 crucial things that are just as important as the strategy itself. These things really took me 3 or 4 years to really learn, so I think it's going to be very useful for you. So let's get into it. If you're new here, my name is Houman and I went from working in the Silicon Valley to building a 7-figure e-commerce business to now becoming a full-time day trader. And this channel is all about documenting that journey and sharing everything that I learned along the way. So if that's something that you vibe with, definitely go ahead and subscribe to the channel and join me on this journey. Alright guys, so here's my one-line trading strategy. I am a trend-following liquidity trader. I use the higher time frames, specifically the daily and the 4-hour chart, to determine the daily bias and the key levels, and I refine my entries on the lower time frames, specifically the 15-minute, 30-minute, and sometimes the 1 hour, focusing on liquidity grabs. And why is this so important? And the reason is that having your strategy boil down to one simple line helps you stay focused. Trading is all about execution and clarity is key. Now I do have some additional confluences like the 𝗓𝗓𝗡𝗡𝗘𝗏, 9 EMA, and 200 EMA, but these are just tools. They're not the backbone of my approach. The core of my strategy is still built around support resistance and liquidity grabs in the direction of the trend. Alright, so now let's jump on the charts and talk about exactly how this strategy works. And the strategy really comes down to 4 simple rules. Number 1 is determine the bias for the day based on the daily and the 4-hour chart. And number 2 is set support and resistance levels. And number 3 is wait for a 1-hour liquidity grab and strong close. And number 4 is a refined entry on the 15-minute, 30-minute, and sometimes the 1 hour. And this is literally what I do every single day. And the best way to show it is actually the trade from yesterday, which was Friday. And I will discuss how it came about taking that trade. So coming into Friday, we'll be looking at basically the previous day close. So as you could see here, on the previous day, which was Thursday, we have a very bullish close. The daily came down, grabbed all of the liquidity from down here, and closed all the way up here. So that tells me that we have already grabbed the liquidity on the daily and we closed very bullish. So there's really no way coming into Friday that I want to go against this trend. And when you look at the daily trend, you see that it's extremely bullish, right? It's extremely bullish. We're riding the 9 EMA here. I don't want to go against that trend. I don't want to say that now I want to go short. So coming into Friday, I was literally waiting for an opportunity to go long. And number 2 is setting support and resistance levels. And I've actually done a whole video on how I determine support and resistance levels, and you could click it somewhere up here to check out that video as well. And I look for multiple rejections, multiple bounces, and areas where the price took a major U-turn. As you can see here, this level here is based on multiple bounces here, rejection here, rejection here, rejection here, bounce here. So this is a strong level. The next blue line here, you could see that we have rejection, rejection, a couple rejections here, a rejection there. And then the way I came out with the other resistance level was again the same thing. We have rejection here from back in October. We have rejection here. Now these again are not exact areas. These are zones of love, basically areas where the price is going to react from. So it may come towards it, it may go past it a little bit, but I just know that this is a strong level. And again, definitely make sure to check out the video that I made about support and resistance. Literally the next step is to wait for a 1-hour liquidity grab and a strong close. So that's all I did on Friday. So going on to the 1-hour chart, and I would basically monitor this from the morning every single hour. I would see how is the 1 hour closing, and if it wasn't closing in a strong way, then I would basically wait for the next hour, go to the beach, go to the gym, do something else in my life until the next hour to close. And I want to show you what happened here. So coming into here, this is around 7 in the morning Vietnam time. We grab the liquidity here. We have this major support. So it grabbed all of the liquidity below the support. So this was a pretty bullish sign, even though that technically was an opportunity right there to get in. 7 a.m. is not really a time that I personally trade. I like to trade more around 10, 11, getting into London. That's more my time to trade. And around 7, the volume usually is not that high. So I basically waited. Then around 8 a.m., this candle closed. So again, very bullish sign. And what I did was then flip to the 30-minute, looking for a liquidity grab. I usually take trades on 15 minutes, 30 minutes, or sometimes a 1 hour, but my preference is the 30 minutes because when I enter on a 30-minute chart, I don't have to sit in a trade as much as I do on a 1 hour entry. And then I don't get faked out like a 15-minute entry. So 30 minutes is really my favorite entry. So that's really what I was looking at. Coming into a 8:30 a.m. candle, you could see that here, we grabbed the liquidity of the previous candle right over here. Below it, we have the VWAP, we have the 9 EMA, and again, the VWAP and the 9 EMA are just basically confluences. If I see that the liquidity grab happened right below the VWAP, and we have the 9 EMA right below that, I feel very confident about that trade. And that's literally what happened. So I'm gonna bring it here. So I waited for the 30-minute, it grabbed the liquidity. Once it closed, I basically waited for the next candle to break that. And that's what happened here. This was my entry, my stop, right below the liquidity grab. And where was my target? My target was the next level of resistance. So we have here that level of resistance. And as you can see, this line here is basically going back to right over here. So yesterday was January 24th, and this was a resistance level from November 6th. Because I know that price could go a little bit behind it, it could go after it, and I knew that this is a very, very strong level here. As you can see, bounces, resistance, bounces, resistance. So then I wanted to exit the trade somewhere between the dashed line here, which was the actual target, and the level that I had drawn. So that's basically where I came up with this. And this is exactly a 2.04R trade. So as you can see, I entered the trade, I put my stop loss right below the liquidity grab. And whenever I enter a trade on a particular time frame, I'm only watching it on that time frame. So once I entered, I was looking at the 30-minute chart because my entry was on the 30-minute time frame. So around 9 a.m., I entered the trade and I was in the trade until about 10 a.m. So very easy trade. Never was I in a drawdown, smooth, simple, and as you can see, we basically hit my target and then we kind of were just going back and forth around that level. Even if the price pushed above that, I am confident with this trade. I knew my target, I had my stop loss, and I basically let that trade play out. And actually this trade I took in a gym on my phone. So I literally just set the levels, I went about my day, came back to the chart and saw that my take profit was hit. And that's literally it. It's a 4-step process that I follow every single day. Now, this strategy isn't about perfection. It's about consistency. It doesn't have a 100% win rate. No trading strategy really does. But it's an edge that works for me. It's got me 6-figure funded and it's made me a profitable day trader. Now, my main goal each day is simple. Just stick to the rules and don't mess up. And it doesn't mean that I'm perfect. I still make mistakes all the time. I just made mistakes last week. But the main goal is to learn from those mistakes and become a better trader every single week. Before we wrap up, I want to highlight 3 things that are just as important, if not more important, than your actual trading strategy. Rule number 1 is discipline, is to show up to the chart every single day, no matter how you're feeling, no matter how the previous day went. Win, lose, whether you had an amazing day, whether you made a lot of mistakes, you still show up every single day without burning out with the goal of following your rules. Number 2 is financial security. Trading is a tough journey, especially in the beginning. And until you have several months of consistent profits, you really don't want to have the added pressure of using your trading money to pay the bills. Because what that does is leads to poor decision making because you have to make a certain amount of money to pay your bills, to make a living. For me personally, in the beginning of my journey, I had my e-commerce business, which was my main source of income. And later, when I decided to go into day trading full time, I did sell one of my e-commerce businesses to avoid having that financial pressure. And that helped me a lot because every single day I don't have to force a trade in order to have to pay the bills. And the third one is having a side project. Now let's be real, sitting at your desk looking at charts all day is really draining and it's not fun. And having something else that you do alongside your day trading really helps keep your life balanced and also avoids you having to take a bad trade. Because when you are only doing day trading as your job, then you feel like you have to make a trade. And when you're sitting around looking at your charts all day and that particular day is not a good day to take a trade, you kind of feel like you wasted a whole day. It definitely was the case for me. In the beginning, I actually thought just focusing on day trading would make me become a better day trader, but I soon realized that it actually made me a worse day trader. I would sit there and I would feel really unproductive and I felt like I needed to do something else on the side. And in big part is actually the reason why I started this YouTube channel, because it adds creativity to my life and also it's something else that I do alongside day trading, which I'm passionate about, and it helps me connect with others that are in the same journey. So whether you're in school or you have a side business or you're actually in a 9-to-5 or perhaps you have e-commerce or whatever it is, there's actually a good thing in my opinion. Definitely have something on the side that you do alongside your day trading. There you have it, guys, the exact strategy that I use every single day, along with some tips that took me personally years to really learn. I hope that you found this video helpful, and if you did, definitely go ahead and leave a like, leave a comment, let me know where you're watching from, and let me know where you are in your trading journey. And in addition to YouTube, if you want to go ahead and reach out to me directly, you could do so on Instagram, as well as if you have a deeper conversation that you want to have, you could connect with me on Connect as well. Both of those links are down in the description. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Cheers.